you have soreness from the straps? Is that what did that?
Right side of my chest was pretty sore for a couple days. Neck, back stuff was pretty sore. I didn't bruise from straps. I don't bruise very easy, but I did have a lot of soreness down this side. But yeah, nothing too severe.
500 miles going to be rough on you Sunday?
Yeah, all good.
What's the worst, your impact or Priest's rolls?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he felt. That's difficult to judge. That was violent what he went through. I'm happy he's okay. Watching that, I've never seen anything like that since the 90s. Happy he was able to get out of that thing and get released from the hospital. But yeah, I'm not sure. Neither. I don't want either. So.
Well, a lot of drivers said yours was worse to them than the flip that dissipated. It went over and over, but a lot of drivers said it was yours that looked worse.
Oh, yeah. It's to each his own. You never know how things feel to that person, right? So I can't talk of Ryan's hit, Priest's hit. So I just know they probably both didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
What led you to use the mouthpiece? Because I know that not everybody has to or is using it. There's sometimes there's a comfort factor as well.
Yeah, it's not like required, but it's encouraged. And I was kind of reluctant at first to do it because it didn't feel good, right? It's like, you're wearing a retainer for 500 miles and it kind of can be uncomfortable. But I worked with Wake Forest a lot on like, okay, how do we get it to where it can be comfortable that I can wear this thing for 500 miles? And they did a good job of working on it to where it feels all right to me. And I think it's, like I said, I was on the side of like, I don't need to wear that, it's uncomfortable, but I think it's important to wear, just trying to learn about what we go through if we're in impacts, right? And that helps and gives them data for the future. So once it got comfortable for me to wear, I'm fine with doing it.
So did you want to get any of the data from your crash, or do you like, hey, I don't need it?
I saw all of it.
So
they sent it all to me.
Does it make sense, or does it show you anything that surprised you?
When I talked, I had a call NASCAR. I called John Padalecki. A couple people from Wake Forest were on the phone with me yesterday, kind of going through all the data. Because I needed someone to dumb it down for me. All that stuff is pretty. I don't know what I'm looking at, and so they did a great job of explaining it to me, and that's good to see, and it's fascinating to just kind of see all what happens in these split seconds, right? It's pretty wild. So, and then okay, what's on this graph, and then how do they want to improve it? Like, what's the optimal like line that they want to get towards, right? It's decreasing the spike, right? It's trying to flatten the curve of these incidents. So it was really helpful talking to those guys.
So is there anything that you can do, or is it just like, hey, you guys are the smart ones in the room and just tell me what I need to do?
I had a couple ideas, just thinking out loud, things I was thinking on the last couple of days about it, but no, and it's good, and they listen. They do a great job of listening and understanding, and so I appreciate them for explaining to me, and then kind of listening to my little thoughts. So.
Momentum doesn't necessarily have to matter going into these playoffs. Certainly there have been guys in the past who not performed as well and get pretty deep in the playoffs. So what gives you hope that things can change, or from what had happened over a 26-week period to the next 3 weeks, or even moving forward?
Yeah. I feel like we haven't had quite the speed that we've wanted to second half of the year. Did a great job in Charlotte. But, it's just trying to find that little bit. I feel like our box is so small to kind of hit to compete for these wins. And we happen to hit it at Charlotte. But it's been hard to try to find that little box again, so it's not from lack of effort. Everyone has been working their butts off to try to figure out what we need to do. So it's just about putting the pieces together. And hopefully we do. I've been proud of the executions part of our team all year. It's just trying to find that little bit more speed in our cars, and so just try to go do our best and perform the best that we can and have no mistakes. That's like the biggest thing, be mistake free. You see it all the time. So try to maximize our potential is the best thing we can do and see what happens.
4 teams the same, but how frustrating is it that another 4 group is, with that small box is to win here lately on a regular basis?
Yeah.
How does that add to the frustration? Or how do you not let it
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, when you see that, you're like, man, well, they figured it out. Why can't we figure it out too? So, I mean, they've done a great job. RFK, front row, they've done a great job of finding what they need to find and improving their performance and getting really competitive. And, you got to give them props for it. So, but it shows us that it is out there. We just have to find it. And I have all the faith in the world that hopefully we can find it, and hopefully we find it quick.
You've gotten into the round of 8 the last couple of years. Do you feel like you're any closer to breaking through to that next level to get to the championship 4, where you had a chance to really battle with Joey for that win back in last November?
Yeah, hope so. I thought in 21 and last year we had a great shot to make it to Phoenix, and just had a couple things go wrong. I took us out of it last year at Vegas and Homestead, and that definitely stung. But just try to learn from mistakes, and just if you get to the round 8, just try to focus on the big picture. I think what led me to wrecking and having a mistake at Vegas last year, I got too focused on Vegas of that race and trying to win that race and lock in. I didn't focus on the big picture of, hey, you don't have to necessarily win. Don't overdrive to try to win. You've had a great day. It's the first race of the round 8. Let's just have a good day and not over push. And I just lost track of that and screwed up. So you try to learn from that stuff, and hopefully you find yourself in the same position to where you can apply what you learned and do better.
Last thing on Daytona, the front end obviously was changed after what they learned from the Priest and Talladega wreck. Were you pleased with how the car in that sense performed at Daytona?
I'm happy the update was in. I think that definitely helped. Looking at the car after the race in the garage, it crushed in all those places that they had, those gussets and holes and stuff like that. So, yeah, fortunate it was in. It would have been a lot worse if they weren't.